welcome to Pathways to Success, a program that supports micro, small, and medium enterprises here on BNC, the Billionario News Channel. I'm Mai Rodriguez. The digital era is here, and with it comes a wave of opportunities for SMEs to improve performance, spur innovation, and enhance productivity. Digital transformation is not just a buzzword, but a necessity in order to compete and thrive in today's market. To help us understand digitalization, we have the co-founder and president of Startup Village, Carlo Calimon. He's also a business coach who specializes in innovation, digital marketing, and startup development. Good morning, Carlo. Welcome to Pathways to Success.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Okay, first tell us about Startup Village. You are an incubator accelerator, 8 years in the business. Tell us all about it. What do you do?
Yeah, so Startup Village, we help the next generation of entrepreneurs and startups who are focused on creating innovative solutions with the use of technology to solve real-life problems and create game-changing solutions.
Yes, and you're also a business coach, and you've been mentoring with Go Negosyo.
We've been helping various organizations, including Go Negosyo, DTI, the ICT, and other organizations that are involved in entrepreneurship development all across the country. So I've been doing that personally for the past almost 20 years already.
Wow. So listen up to our viewers. This guy knows what he's talking about. So first of all, Carlo, please tell us, what is digitalization?
So when you search for the meaning of digitalization, you'll come across various definitions. But the way I define it, to simplify things, it's basically the use of technology, of solutions that can help you do better business or good business. What is good business in the first place? Good business, the metrics is basically good profits, right? But in order for you to gain good profits, you should be able to generate revenue, increase your revenue, and reduce your costs. So digitization is the use of digital solutions or tools that help you increase revenue or decrease your costs so that you can have better profits.
So what are the most common examples?
So you will have digital wallets. You can have online platforms. You can also use logistic solutions that are bridged to SMEs online. You also have various other solutions, from payroll to finance management, even recruitment, right? So you can look at the whole business and you can find various solutions that can be digitized for the improvement and to create business efficiency for your organization.
So in this information age, definitely that is the way to go already. So can you please tell us successful applications for MSMEs? Like, are there MSMEs that have successfully done this, and what have they done exactly?
So we've supported various MSMEs to become more digital in the past few years, especially during the pandemic. Some of them were able to create online stores, for example. They used to be just brick and mortar, serving their community. And some of these examples would be, some of them would be earning around about 10,000 pesos per month on a good month. But after creating their own online store, online presence, for example, now they're selling 150, 200,000 a month because they've expanded the reach of their customers, selling beyond just the community, but also already exporting because they got discovered, for example.
Yes.
Another example is if you're a sari store, all of a sudden you're able to receive digital payments through the various wallets that we've seen. So it makes it easier to transact with customers. We've also seen how MSMEs were also able to bring together their customer base by creating a community so that they can have regular interaction. They can make announcements. They can find out the thoughts and wants of their customers.
Specific behaviors for that community, yes.
So by bringing them together in this particular community, they are able to connect with their suki
Yeah, that's great, right? And it's also a way to reach beyond your borders. If you're a seller, you can go global, right? A wider reach of customers because of online selling. You're all on the internet already. They can find your shop on the internet. So, okay, so there are small businesses, though, that continue to lag in digitalization. So why is this?
Well, I think that based on experience, at least, the first reaction of a traditional MSME would be, oh, that's another expense. And they're going to say, I'm a dinosaur already, and I don't want to change. Or another thing is that some of the MSMEs have that mentality that, why fix it when it isn't broken? Remember that old saying?
Yeah.
But for MSMEs, for entrepreneurs, you cannot wait for something to break. You have to anticipate something breaking so that you can address these issues before they actually arise. Because by the time it breaks, you're going to be playing catch up. So a lot of the MSMEs don't pursue this path because, number one, they think it's expensive. They don't see the value. And at the same time, they're saying, oh, it's working anyway. Everything's working fine. I'm still generating revenue anyway. So,
but are they going to be left behind if they don't go on board?
Precisely, because we are in that digital age. So the challenge would be them, or MSMEs, getting left behind.
Okay, so now what should SMEs prepare if they want to digitalize? Tell us the step-by-step, for example, their internal resources and skill deficiencies they have to improve on.
I think that the first step is really to shift their mindset, right? Shift their mindset so that the leaders, the founders, the owners themselves recognize that there is value in transitioning to a more digital organization because it starts with them. They have to accept that we are in this digital world and that the digital solutions are going to enable us to help us increase our revenue or decrease our costs with a little investment. So it begins with that mindset. And then after that, they should begin exploring all of these possible opportunities because there's more than one solution that they can actually use for their business. They can find a solution that can help them increase revenue. They can also find solutions that can help them bring down their costs. So they have to be able to do their research and to be open to all of these solutions that can come their way.
You mentioned one of the things that, you know, why they're hesitant to go into digitalization is because of the cost. So tell us, how much is it exactly? How much will it cost for a company to go into adopt technologies for digitization?
I think that there has to be a way for our MSMEs to think about spending in this case. Remember, when we adopt these technologies, it's an investment for the organization. And the pricing may vary depending on what the company needs. But there is a tendency to think, oh, it's going to be very expensive. But in fact, there are affordable solutions, even local solutions, that our MSMEs can actually take advantage of. They just have to be able to measure, am I going to achieve my goals? If by spending on these solutions, will it help me increase my sales or at the very least drive down my costs, thus freeing up my people to do more relevant and important things.
Yeah. Give us an example of how much it will cost for a startup.
So for an MSME, for example, if they want to create an online store, for example, it can go as low as 300, 350 pesos a month, for example, and you already have your own online store. If you want to create your own digital wallets or apply that so that you can accept payments, some of these solutions are even free. So they will charge you a small percentage.
Yeah.
So the cost,
it varies.
It varies.
And some can be free, but some as low as 350 a month.
So these can be very, very affordable for our MSMEs. You just have to choose which ones are relevant for you.
Okay, great insights so far, Carlo. But we have to take a short break. When we come back, Carlo will teach us the how-tos of digitalization. Please don't go away. Pathways to Success. We'll be right back.
Let's take a look at today's headline.
Get to know the latest weather update and forecast with information to help us understand important aspects regarding our climate.
You're leading the charge of combating climate change, and you finally experienced it. More weather updates and stories about the environment, climate change, and disaster preparedness, where we'll stay together, whatever the weather.
Weather HQ with Paulo Del Rosario, 9 a.m. on BNC, the Billionario News Channel. At BNC, 12 noon doesn't mean break, but breaking news, biggest stories, and latest updates.
15,000 teddy bears to pay tribute to the children killed in Gaza. Tensions in the West Philippine Sea reaching the skies. Hong Kong reclaims its spot as Asia's top financial center.
Mai Rodriguez, newsfeed at noon on BNC, the Billionario News Channel.
Welcome back to Pathways to Success. We are still with business coach Carlo Calimon, who will share with us the strategies in digitalization. So, Carlo, what are the risks and challenges, again, encountered by SMEs in digitalization?
I think the primary challenge that MSMEs face with digitalization is, number one, not wanting to even explore digitalization in the first place because they're comfortable with the status quo, not realizing that they are going to be left behind, not realizing that competition will start adapting and they will be left behind.
So this is where a change in mindset comes in.
And that's where the change in mindset is very important because they have to understand that it is going to be broken eventually. And also at the same time, they have to get out of their comfort zones because they're so comfortable. They're thinking that today I'm earning this much and it's always going to be like that. But in business, it's never going to be like that. You have to constantly push yourself to at the very least maintain that level of success for your business. So
and the other challenges?
And the other challenge is basically finding the wrong solution sometimes or not assessing all of the potential options that you have. I think those are the primary challenges or risks that our MSMEs face.
Okay, Carlo, if I have a small company, how do I start with digital transformation? Are there strategic steps, and can you help us out with this?
Yes, so number one, I think, as I mentioned, you have to have that right mindset first. You have to be open to the fact that we need to change and digitalization can help my business. Secondly, an organization has to look at its options because, as I mentioned, the tendency is if a solution is presented to you, I say, no, it's another expense. I'm going to say no already without even assessing and seeing how these solutions will benefit me in the future. Secondly, I think that there are a lot of capacity building programs that are available out there wherein we can expose ourselves to what's available in the market. Primarily looking at the solutions that can help me with sales, can help me with marketing, with HR, with finance, even with operations, and trying it out. I think that a good part of taking the plunge is also testing and immersing yourself in the solutions that are available there. The good thing about it is that for some of these solutions, some of them are even giving you free trials so that you can actually experience it first.
We see that in our phones now with all the apps
with
available.
the premium stuff, right?
Yeah.
So those are the things that they should take a look at. And another thing also is that the founders typically will say, I'm too old for this. I'm not used to this. And they say, I'm not going to adapt it because I can't do it myself. But remember, your employees, they're the young ones. They're the ones who are natives in this space. So you can assign them to say, hey, why don't you explore that? Why don't you study that? Why don't you do a cost benefit? Or why don't you look at how it can potentially impact the organization? And then, but the founder has to understand what they're doing, but they don't have to be the ones doing it themselves.
Can we show the strategic steps again on our screens? Because I've seen one of the steps there is nurture a digital culture. So
So
Explain
by
that to
nurturing
us.
a digital culture, as I mentioned, starts from the founder, driving people at the bottom, right, his staff, to say that this is our strategy, we are going to be employing a digital strategy, so that we need to embrace it. And we need to make sure that, hey, it's okay for us not necessarily to succeed in one, maybe we'll succeed in another one. There are going to be mistakes, there are going to be some growing pains, but since this is a strategy that the organization has decided to employ, then we're going to be patient as well.
So tell us, what are the skills and specific knowledge do I need to develop in my team if I'm going to nurture that digital culture?
Well, I think that, you know what, there's not much skill that you need to put into it, because if you own a smartphone, if you're on social media, if you yourself are using these mobile wallets, you should be able to adapt to all of these solutions, because these are already tailor-fit, and the UI or the experience is already designed for the user. So it's not supposed to be difficult to use.
Yeah. You mentioned mobile wallets. I see it everywhere now, even in markets, even in sari-sari stores. I think they're already adapting some of these technologies.
Yes, precisely the point, because everybody's using it, even at the bottom of the chain, at the lowest level, the wet market or even the sari-sari store, it's being used. So how come the others aren't adapting to it? I've said it in some of my lectures. I said, our families are digital, our workers are digital, our customers are digital. So how come our businesses are lagging behind?
Exactly. Okay, so aside from pay wallets, what are some of the essential technologies used in digital transformation?
So a lot that we've seen, aside from digital wallets, center around financial management, for example, bookkeeping and accounting, so that the owners can easily track the performance of their organization.
Also, the critical side of the business,
critical side
bookkeeping,
which is cash flow. Other things would be anything that would get you to the market, whether it's e-commerce or creating your online store, or even these marketing solutions that are out there that can allow you to manage your customers, make sure that your pipeline is sound, and you're able to also take care of your existing suki. Right?
Yes.
So there are solutions out there. You also have payroll solutions that can also make things more efficient and effective for your staff, making it one click and you're done. Vis-a-vis taking you days just to be able to process all of these things. So there's so much out there that you can choose from, and even from just the basics, an MSME can start by just employing these simple solutions already for
essentially adopting these technologies can help you nurture a healthy relationship with your staff and also your customers. Yes. Okay, so let's take a quick break first. When we return, let's take a look at the future of digitalization in our country. Keep it here, Pathways to Success. We'll be right back.
Beauty, health, adventure. This is for you.
Ultimate mind and body experience.
Join Marie Lozano where she uncovers the untold stories and unexpected surprises in the world of lifestyle.
The idea was to give viewers a behind-the-scenes look at how things work and if it's worth the hype. Yeah!
The Lifestyle Lab, Saturday on BNC, the Billionario News Channel.
It has no authorization.
We hope and pray that it will not.
Thanks for having me here.
An orchestrated vicious...
By myself, basically.
We always say that.
It depends.
A well-concerted effort.
Perhaps I can reiterate.
My greatest beefsteak. Iba pala yun.
Welcome back. If you have just tuned in, we are with the co-founder and president of Startup Village, business coach Carlo Calimon. Now, Carlo, let's talk about the SPEED program of the USAID. The Philippine government and the United States Agency for International Development, or USAID, have launched a 5-year program that will accelerate and boost digitalization for Filipino SMEs. Now, how can the SPEED program help our business owners?
We have to understand that our SMEs comprise a huge bulk of our registered businesses, and their transformation and uplifting them is critical for the development of our nation. I think that this particular program is very much welcome because it can help capacitate and encourage our SMEs to really transform their businesses for the new age. And I think that this collaboration between the government and USAID can really push everybody forward.
But is it true that the smaller the firm, the higher the barriers to digital transformation?
I think it's more or less the same. I think that the small guys just have a little bit of a challenge because of the relative size. They face the challenge of, okay, how much budget can I allocate for this? Typically, our SMEs, they manage their expenses very tightly, and just any addition, they would say, no, I don't want it. Right. So I think that is one of the hurdles that these guys have to face. Another thing also is the amount of exposure that they have in terms of what solutions are out there. If you're a big company, you have more people, you have bigger reach, and you have more exposure to what's available out there, vis-a-vis the smaller ones who have very limited exposure because they're usually just focused on their respective geographic locations.
But there's also support coming in from various agencies. From the DTI, for example, the Department of Trade and Industry has been rolling out programs to support SME digitalization. So how is the e-commerce roadmap helpful to SMEs?
So I think that it's quite helpful because it establishes guidelines and rules by which both that protects both seller and also the buyer. Typically, you'd have regulations that just protect the buyer. In this case, there's also protection for the sellers themselves. So I think having all of these policies and regulations is always welcome because it establishes rules for engagement for everybody to follow.
Tell us now why the future of SMEs is in digitalization.
Because the world right now is so small because of digitalization. As I shared earlier, we've had MSMEs who are now able to export their products to the opposite side of the world. Wouldn't we want to see that with other players as well? And digitalization allows us to remove these boundaries. So now, it's a borderless world. Another thing also is that technology allows us to focus on the more critical things in business. Things that you can automate should be automated because I have more important things to do. I have more time to do the more critical things, expand my market, come up with new products. By automating and using technology, even my people are less stressed because they're alleviated from these, small things that can be automated in the first place.
Okay, so is it true then that the digitalization is more about the people more than the technologies, right?
Well, I think that it's a combination of the two. The technology that people build obviously helps us solve day-to-day problems. But the people have to decide that I need to use this, that I can use this, that I can adapt to this. So there are always benefits for as long as we're able to analyze, test, and see for ourselves what's valuable and what can help us.
Thank you so much, Carlo, for your tips for small business owners to finally embrace digital transformation. I hope you've helped a lot of them, and thank you for sharing your expertise today.
Thank you.
So for our entrepreneurs, change is the only constant in life, and your ability to adapt to new ways and strategies will determine your success. Always remember that the more you learn, the more you earn. See you again tomorrow here on BNC, the Billionario News Channel.
Well, it was really cool to have seen the video of them being made in India and to hear the story of them coming here. So now to actually see them and their expression in the eyes and how intricate they are it's really amazing. Plus that they're able to transport them from place to place and maintain their integrity and not damage them at all.
You know, with all bad stuff going on, sometimes you just need to sit and reflect and look at nice things. I think, you know, it just makes you feel better and shut off for a little bit, and it looks nice.
You know,